Hello and welcome to the More Sports Podcast on the More Than Sports Podcast Network. My name is Custis Moore. We're back. It's been about a month now since we've done a podcast. I'm with a friend of mine, a guy who's been writing some articles on the website, Blake. We discuss, NFL, kind of an oddity of a season. Doesn't really seem like there's a clear-cut MVP, stuff like that, teams, disappointments. Teams that we thought were going to be bad, that are good, stuff like that. Just kind of an overview of the whole season. Was a really good conversation. If you haven't checked out the website, morethansports.com, M-O-O-R-E, thansports.com. It's more than sports. Today's episode will be aired on normal podcasts, wherever you get it, at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, as well as I'll be posting a video to YouTube, because we did do this over Zoom. So check out the YouTube. Enjoy the video today. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Blake Bartles. It's a really good name. It's a nickname,
Thanks.
I believe.
Yep.
Blake's been writing some articles for me. The NFL weekly stuff. He does best and worst. Those are my favorite articles. I love those. Those are fun. Kind of has free reign on whatever he wants to talk about, make fun of whoever he wants to make fun of. So good gig for him. But yeah, I'll let you introduce yourself. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Oh wow, 30 seconds.
Yeah, you got 30 seconds.
So I'm Blake. I write articles, and the articles that I write are very opinionated. So if I make you mad, just know it's my opinion, and it doesn't reflect Custis at all. It's all me. I try to make it fun. The articles, like I put the stats in there to make it useful and knowledgeable, but I like to put a little bit of my own personal vendettas against some certain teams in there.
Understood.
If you look at the latest one, I can never get the Chargers and the Bengals games right. Those are the two teams that never work for me. They always look good, and then when I put my faith in them, then they lose to a team they should beat. It's just all the time, every time.
Understood. Yeah. Man. Sorry, I'm setting my There we go. Okay, cool. Well, cool. So previous writing experience, what you got, what you've done before, what are your aspirations, goals,
Oh man, I would love to write for a specific team, whether it be college or NFL. Like right now, I'm living in the Charlotte area, so there's a lot of Panthers fans around me. But that's not a really good team right now.
Well, they're not great.
They're really bad.
They're not good.
They keep flipping from quarterback to quarterback to quarterback. The last few years have been not great.
It looked promising at the beginning of the season.
It did.
And then they kind of fell apart against the Cowboys.
Well, they started 3-0, and now they're what are they, like 4-7 or something like that? 5-7.
Go Matt Rule.
Yeah, they just fired.
He
Joe
coached
Brady.
Baylor. Yeah, I know.
Oh, did
he? He was the head coach of Baylor. So my mom's a Baylor fan. She listens to this podcast, so big Baylor fan. I think she was kind of upset he left, but they got Dave Aranda, who looks like a very capable coach too. So
I mean,
somehow
Matt Rule's
Baylor
back.
He might be back. Not at Baylor though. They just extended Aranda, I believe, or at least the extension was offered to him.
Yeah,
very large extension. So, but yeah, this NFL season been an odd one overall.
Oh yeah.
Been a little different. I mean, the guy who looked like was the front runner for the MVP decided to destroy. What did he hurt? He had
talking about Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I'm talking about Derrick Henry. Of course I am.
I love Derrick Henry. He is human, apparently. Like I thought he was some machine or some Superman or whatever, but he is human. He broke his foot.
Was that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, imagine. But yeah, no, he still ranks third in the league in rushing yards. Jonathan Taylor's been tearing it up recently.
Yeah. Just imagine though how many yards Derrick Henry would have had he not broken his foot. Because he got his last game was week 8. And it wasn't until like 2 weeks ago or maybe 3 weeks ago when someone actually passed him for rushing yards. So imagine you've missed the last 4 weeks and you're still leading the league in rushing.
Right.
That's incredible.
Jonathan Taylor's put on a pretty good show. People were really he was kind of underwhelming first few games of the season, and then he took off and then had that like 5-6 touchdown game, whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
And now he has like 18 total touchdowns this season, which is ridiculous.
Something like that. Something crazy.
For a football player, especially for a running back. I mean, that's just insane. But looking pretty good. It's become a quarterback award, and I hate that. The last
I'm right there with you.
The last non-quarterback to win it was Adrian Peterson in 2012.
2012, yep.
He's still in the league. He scored a touchdown this week.
He did. He just passed. What's his name? Man,
I think he
Jim
tied
Brown.
Jim. I think he tied Jim.
He tied Jim Brown for like 10th overall, 10th all time.
Which just proves how good Jim Brown was with the 12 game. Yeah. Anyways, it was ridiculous.
Back when they played 10 games a season.
Yeah, back when they had like leather helmet. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, and so it's become a quarterback award, and I don't think that there's a clear-cut quarterback specifically because everyone keeps getting injured or hurt or their teams suck. Like Kirk Cousins statistically is one of the best quarterbacks in the league this season, and they're 6-7. He's thrown.
He's got 3,500 yards, over 3,500 yards, and he prior to yesterday's game or Thursday's game, whenever this goes out. He only had 2 picks all season. He ended up throwing 2 more yesterday, I think.
Still, it's 4 picks all season, and he threw a touchdown at least. So Dalvin Cook carried that game though. He had over 200 plus yards last night. They almost blew it. I got home and I was like, "Oh man, this is a blowout." And the Pittsburgh had just scored. And my roommate was like, "No, momentum just switched." Yeah. And he was right. And Pittsburgh, man. Mike Tomlin is a great coach. I love him. Ben Roethlisberger needs to go. Like it is his time to retire at this point. Like it is.
Oddly enough, he's still their best quarterback right now. Like
you don't believe in Mason Rudolph?
No, I don't.
Oklahoma State guy, arguably one of the best starters. Like you could probably put him in top 20. Like people who had a really good career in college, like one of the better quarterbacks in college. Because I think he was a 4-year starter at Oklahoma State. I hated playing against him. It was really
just annoying. Because you're good in college doesn't mean you can make it in the NFL. I mean,
well, right. I mean, he was a 3-year starter at Oklahoma State and was incredible. But it's like Case Keenum is probably statistically the best college quarterback ever.
Really?
19,000 passing yards in college. It's more than he has in the NFL.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that dude was a monster at U of H. His offensive coordinator was Cliff Kingsbury. Quarterback's coach was Cliff Kingsbury. And then after he left, Kingsbury went to A&M for 1 year and just happened to be the year where Johnny Football won the Heisman. Good times. Then he came to Tech and Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes.
Now he's got
other guys.
Now he's got
Kyler Murray
in Arizona. Yeah.
Right. Now I thought Kyler Murray would have been the clear cut for the MVP, but he's missed 3 freaking games.
Yeah. That's the only. So like you're looking at all these other quarterbacks, like Tom Brady is doing as well as Tom Brady should do with 4 really great receivers and a really good run game and a defense.
Yes.
But he's not the MVP of that team. You put any quarterback in that offense and they do just as well. Maybe not just as well, but they do really well.
Right.
So it's not Tom Brady that's making that team 10 and
people are like, right. Brady should be, the MVP. I'm like, the dude is turning the ball over so much. Lamar sucks this year. Mahomes statistically actually isn't horrible, but he's not himself. Mahomes is not who he is. Mahomes' receivers are not playing near as well as they used to. Kelsey is just
6. Mahomes has 6 interceptions that bounced off the receiver's hands.
Right. 6 and he probably has 12 interceptions a season.
Yeah. At one point, he led the league in interceptions. I think he led league 6 or whatever.
But people were freaking out, and then people are like, oh my God, Mahomes has lost it. Mahomes has lost it. Mahomes has lost it. And then
I thought he lost
every
it
other
too.
every
I'll
other
be honest,
quarterback.
I was
No,
one of those
I was like,
guys.
no. Every other quarterback came out that week and threw multiple picks in a game. And then Lamar came out and threw 4 in one game. Like no one said anything about Lamar. So, what are his stats right now? Yep, he has 12 picks. 6 of them are bounced off the
Mahomes?
hands of receivers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And he hasn't been playing that great. He really hasn't. But that game against Vegas where he threw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns is kind of helping his stats a little bit. But still, it's just been a weird year. Like, who else is in it for the MVP right now other than Jonathan Taylor?
You could make a case for Cooper Kupp. Yeah.
Dude's a monster. That dude is insane. And he was a stud in college. So he was like a 4-time he went to an FCS school. I'm blanking on which one. I'll find it here in a second. I don't have a producer that can search this for me. I am my producer.
Yeah, I'm looking at my own stats too over here.
Eastern Washington. He was a 4-time FCS All-American. He's a 4-time All-American in college. All 4 years.
I think he had like
he had
comparatively to last year. Oh, go ahead.
He had 6,464 receiving yards in college and 73 touchdowns in 4 years. He was insane in college and, small school, whatever. So he dropped to the 3rd round and he's been really good in the NFL. And this year, I mean, he's got 100 catches, 1,366 yards already and 11 touchdowns. And he's never had a season like this. He's had good years. He's been a solid receiver so far. He's already had a 1,000-yard year. But he's been good when he's in, and this year it's insane what he's been able to do. Especially with all those other receivers.
I don't even think he had 1,000 receiving yards last year. So for him to have a receiving season like this, it's pretty incredible.
2 years ago he did. He had 1,100 yards. But he played all 16 games. And yeah, Cooper Kupp. I mean, if they were going to give the MVP to a receiver, this would be the year. I mean, Kupp, if he could keep blowing up, he has a chance to break records. Since
he's already broken records. He's already broken records.
Yeah. Break like actual records that matter and go in books and stuff.
I think the record for most receptions, in a season is like 118 by Brandon Marshall one year. He's at 100 right now with 6 games left. Yeah.
That's insane.
So he could destroy that record.
He definitely could. And Calvin Johnson's record of yards is 1,964 yards.
600 away from that.
He's got to have 5 really good weeks. But it is possible. It is very much, very much possible. So, yeah, I don't know. Weird year in the NFL. Don't know what to make of anything so far, especially the MVP and other stuff like that.
If you look at like the potential quarterbacks that could make the MVP, like that could run for that, you got Tom Brady, maybe Matt Stafford, Kyler Murray, Mahomes will probably be in there, Aaron Rodgers. These are like all the usual ones.
Yeah.
But like none of them are standing out. Like Aaron Rodgers is being Aaron Rodgers, but he's not like being.
He's also missed a couple games. Like you can't. Yeah. You can't miss multiple games and win the MVP, in my opinion. One max. Like I just don't think that you can miss. Like Kyler, I don't think you can miss 3 games and win the MVP. You blew it there.
Well, if you miss the games and your team looks terrible when you miss, then yeah, you kind of that makes sense. But Arizona, Kyler Murray was out for 3 weeks and they went 2-1 over that.
They did go 2-1.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy.
Who knew, man? Who knew?
Colt McCoy. I knew. I have a lot of friends with Colt McCoy fans. Colt McCoy, man. What a guy. But yeah, it's been an odd year. The 2 guys who'd be leading, MVP on my radar are not quarterbacks, which it hasn't been like that in a long time.
But it's going to be a quarterback.
Unless Rodgers lights it up, Brady stops turning the ball over. I really don't know. MVP talks. You're going to have to get me closer to week. How many weeks are there now? 18, 19, 18? There's 18 weeks now.
There's 17 games,
17
18
games,
weeks.
so 18 weeks.
Yeah.
You have to get me closer to that week 17, week 16. We're in week 13 right now. Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, we're going into week 14, I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. It should be. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going into week 14.
Yeah, give me a couple more weeks. I might be able to narrow it down, but this might actually be an interesting, where it's just not everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to win the MVP this year. So
if there's no clear-cut quarterback MVP, give it to Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, but there's been better seasons by running backs and receivers where they just didn't win. I guess it just depends on a year-to-year thing, right? It just depends on who's hot that year.
Yeah.
It's a weird award. There's a lot of guys who are incredible football players who, if you put them in a different year, they won an MVP. Like, it's just, it's how it works. But,
What about Coach of the Year? Who do you think should win that? Year? Yeah.
Cliff.
You do? I was honestly going to say Bill Belichick.
It's either Bill or Cliff.
Yeah.
Bill turned that team back around. I don't think they were ever that bad. They went 7-9 last year, and people were like, oh, my God, the dynasty's over. Chill out. It was the second losing season in like 20 years, okay? Give them a break. And it was by one game. Like, it wasn't much. They go and draft a quarterback. Turns out Cam Newton's an actual moron. They cut him. And Max said he had to help Cam learn the playbook. And 9-year NFL vet, and Cam was pissed. And then Max, the best rookie, he's hands down rookie of the year. You could argue Jamar Chase, but he had a really pivotal drop the other day, and it was really bad. Even with Max 3-pass game this week, he's outperforming every other rookie in every.
What a bizarre game that was. I wrote about it. Go read it.
Yeah.
If you're watching, if you're listening, go listen. Go read it.
Morethansports.com.
There you go. There's your plug.
Go find Blake's thing. But yeah, and a bunch of other weird things happen in the league. The starting quarterbacks in the NFC East this week. Are you ready? Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Taylor Heineke.
Love it.
Gardner Minshew.
Love him.
Jake Fromm.
Wait, what? Who's the other?
Jake
for the Giants?
Fromm. Yes.
What? I don't. Glennon's out again?
You know who Jake Fromm is. Yeah,
I know who Jake Fromm is.
Oh, yeah. Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm State Farm. That would have been the best commercial ever.
I didn't know he was on the Giants.
Yeah, no one knew.
So
he's supposed to make his NFL debut this week.
I guess Daniel Jones is still out. Mike Glennon has a concussion, I think.
Yes.
I guess he's not cleared.
So they're bringing in Jake Fromm to play quarterback this week.
Who do they play this week?
I don't care. I don't know. Oh, my Lord. It's going to be insane. It's going to be absolutely insane for the
I haven't looked at the schedule. This week. I don't know who.
Let's see if I can find it. Who they play this week? The Chargers.
Oh, they'll lose.
Oh, yeah.
I think. I mean, the Chargers, it's the Chargers, and I can't.
The Chargers are so up and down. I love Justin Herbert. That dude, I love him. I don't think he's like an MVP candidate this year, but I think he has the potential to be one in the next couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's a less fast developing Mahomes, but also doesn't have near as good of a team or a coach around him as Mahomes had when he entered the league, right? Mahomes ended up in the perfect spot and just flourished with it. But I think we'll see some changes in Kansas City this next year. I don't know what's going to happen.
They're actually set until 2023. I think I looked at most of their contracts, like Travis Kelce.
I'm thinking trades and stuff like that. I don't think Andy Reid's going to be one to sit around. He's an old guy. He wants to win again. Great coach. Great coach in Philly for 15 years, 16 years. I don't know how long it was. And then been awesome in Kansas City. Just been great.
When you think about the situation that he was in when he was first hired in Kansas City, I think Matt Castle was still their quarterback back then. And they had nobody. They brought in Alex Smith. First teams on that team.
And they brought in Alex Smith. He was a quarterback there for like 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 years. I don't know.
Something like that.
His last year, they drafted Mahomes, running behind Alex Smith. They traded him. But, and then Mahomes, his first game in the NFL threw like 6 touchdowns. So,
Yeah.
second game. He started one game his rookie year.
Yeah, he didn't really do that much.
No, it was like 200 yards and an interception. That was it. That was the game.
But I do remember before Mahomes' era in Kansas City, there was like an extended period of time when the Chiefs receivers did not catch a touchdown pass for like 12 weeks. It was always like Travis Kelce or Jamal Charles or whoever they had in the.
It was a tight end or a running back receiver.
Yeah, for like 12 weeks. That's how bad their receiving core was.
Their defense was incredible then. Their defense was so good then. And now their defense they've actually stepped up a little bit. Their defense was awful the first 6-7 weeks. They've stepped up a little bit and been playing pretty decent. Not great, but they've been playing decent. They're better than.
They haven't been the reason they're losing.
Correct. The reason they're losing is they can't score, which is so weird to say about the Chiefs. It's something figured them out, but this one season, they have a winning record. Like they're
they'll be 5 in a row.
They'll probably win. They'll probably make it to the playoffs. If they lose in the divisional game, whatever, they're getting ready for next year. Mahomes isn't going anywhere. He loves Kansas City.
A 10-year contract.
Guns up, baby. Give me that. Wreck-'em Tech. God. We love Texas Tech players in the NFL. But, yeah, so. Your Bears picked up a Tech player a couple weeks ago.
Who's that?
Traded for him. Jakeem Grant.
Grant?
Yeah. You like him?
I don't like how we're using him.
I wish people would just play him as a normal football player because when he's the all-time leading receiver at Tech. Yeah. He's the all-time leading receiver at a school where Michael Crabtree was a 2-time Biletnikoff winner. And we ran the air raid for 20 years. He's the all-time leading receiver at Tech. Jakeem was seriously, if you get bored after this, go look at his college highlights. He's like Tyreek Hill. Like that's the kind of like I would compare him to. But I wish the team would just play him normally. It's annoying.
What's annoying is how Matt Nagy uses him or like uses him in the offense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a Bears fan. Laugh at me all you want. When we get down into the red zone, we take out our big receivers and put Darnell Mooney and Jakeem Grant and these backup wide receivers.
I like Darnell Mooney. I picked him up on my fantasy team, and he's actually done really freaking good for me. So,
yeah, but it just makes no sense why you would take out your big tight ends in the red zone and throw it to your 5'8" wide receivers in the end zone. It makes no sense.
That's Matt Nagy for you.
Yeah.
I'm
well aware of how incompetent that man is.
I don't know. He went to the playoffs, didn't he?
I was a big Matt Nagy supporter until the Cleveland game this year when Justin Fields made his first start. Or no, Andy Dalton got hurt and Justin Fields went in. Took 9 sacks. That's when I knew
that's Justin Fields being the rawest player taken in that entire draft. I don't know. Nagy's probably gone, but he'll find another coaching job somewhere. He will. I promise.
I don't know, man. He's supposed to be an offensive-minded guru, and his offense has never ranked higher than 24th.
It's because he had Mitch Trubisky at quarterback.
Okay. So he's had Trubisky, he's had Foles, he's had Justin Fields, Andy Dalton. Chase Daniel.
He's supposed to impress me.
He said he needed a quarterback to fit his role. He went out and got 3 different guys that fit his role, air quotes, and he still sucks.
Yep. At least your coach isn't Mike McCarthy.
Hey,
everyone
they're
thinks he's
8-4.
A good coach. Oh my God, he's a moron. The clock management does not exist. It was not a thing. He was not taught how to manage a clock.
I can't believe.
Dude probably still hasn't set his oven clock at home for daylight savings a couple weeks ago. Seriously, it's insane. Can't manage a clock. Can't manage a game very well. Offense looks. The thing with the Cowboys look so dominant sometimes. And whenever the Cowboys are on, they're on. Whenever they are off, they are off. There is no in between. And then defensively, apparently everyone on our defense is just a ball hawk now.
Apparently, yeah. You guys were terrible last year on defense. Now
Yeah.
you're like
It's
one of the
Dan
top
Quinn.
defenses.
Like, I think Dan Quinn's a really good defensive coordinator still. I don't think he was a good game manager. I don't think he was good with offense. But the dude was always been a defensive coordinator, a defensive guy. So, which is so funny because he had Matt Ryan and Julio Jones for years. But,
yeah, and
had an MVP quarterback. Just one of the greatest wide receivers of our generation.
Oh yeah, and he's actually. I thought they were foolish to trade Julio, especially if they weren't going to draft a quarterback. Yeah, because it made no sense to trade away your best player and then not rebuild.
Julio's not doing great this year, I don't think.
He's played in like 4 games.
I know.
I thought they were foolish for trading him away for 2 second-rounders or whatever it was. But now I'm like, they probably won that trade. As of 1 year.
They won it for this year.
Yeah.
And I don't I don't think Julio stays in Tennessee very long. So I don't think it's a good fit. I don't think it's a good fit for him. He's got to have a quarterback who can throw the ball.
I thought it was going to be a high-powered offense, but then
I did too. And then they just it's just
AJ Brown has been hurt almost all year too. Right. Now that Derrick Henry's out, Julio's out, AJ Brown's out, that offense is basically anemic.
Right. They have nothing. It's Tannehill can get stuff done sometimes. He's still got a lot of that Miami Dolphins in his blood, where they just destroyed him. Just insane. Comeback player of the year. Who are you thinking?
Instantly, I think Dak Prescott.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, I don't know anyone else really.
Joe Burrow, maybe.
I don't know. I doubt it.
Too. I don't think of
winning team. It's got to be like Dak.
Well, they're winning. The Bengals are a winning team. They're technically a winning team right now, and they're probably going to make the postseason.
Oh yeah, I think they will. They looked really good early on, and then they kind of shit the bed a couple times.
So, do you count Matt Stafford as a comeback player? Because he played in Detroit last year.
But he that's funny.
That's basically an injury.
But he sucked he sucked the last few weeks. He hasn't been great. Turning the ball over like crazy. He might make a Pro Bowl finally.
Yeah, he's always been
a fringe guy.
Good with stats, but he's never been great with wins because he's been on a terrible team.
He's been on the Detroit Lions and was loyal to them for too long. It's probably because he had Megatron.
Yeah. So yeah, probably Dak Prescott. Maybe dark horse would be Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. What if Dak gets hurt again? I'm not going to speak that into existence. I would cry.
Yeah. Good job.
I just ruined the Cowboys season. It's over.
Honestly, I think Dak being so good kind of ruins your chances because now you're going to be stuck with McCarthy for long term. Because I feel like he was one of the few on the hot seat before the season even started. But now that you're top of your division, 8-4, looking at going deep into the postseason, now you're not going to fire him now.
Right. But, Jerry Jones kept Jason Garrett on for
3 years too long.
10 years too long. He got fired from the Giants mid-season. Like, come on.
Oh, yeah. Now. And then their offense got worse.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, oh, my God. What a wild time. Been insane. NFL's been crazy. Been absolutely just.
This is the year of upsets. Like, Jacksonville's 2 wins have come against, like, really good teams.
Yeah.
And then the Jets beat the Bills or something. Like, I can't remember exactly because the
Jets beat the Titans.
Jets beat the Titans, and then the Bills lost to the Jags. Was it Jacksonville?
Yes. Maybe.
I almost
9-6, maybe.
Yeah, it was a terrible game.
It was awful. Like, whatever happened to Trevor Lawrence? I thought he was the next, like the next guy.
I mean, it kind of man, when you're the first overall pick, you get the worst team, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are definitely the worst team.
Yeah.
Can you name anybody else on the Jaguars?
James Robinson.
Yeah, there's one. Can you name anybody else?
Urban Meyer.
Yeah, he's the real reason that team sucks. They should have kept Gardner Minshew.
Yes, they should have. That's what I've been saying. Like, I wanted to talk. That's why I brought up the quarterbacks in the NFC East earlier. Was Gardner is better than Jalen Hurts right now. Like,
yeah. But unfortunately,
keep starting him.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nick Sirianni came out and said, yeah, when Jalen is healthy, he's our quarterback, which we all know how well that goes, right? You gotta play the hot hand.
He's gonna be conveniently injured for the rest of the season. So Gardner's a starter. I think Gardner Minshew, dude, he could start at half the teams in the league right now. Like, I think he really, really, really could. And I think a team's gonna take a flyer on him if he continues to play this well. I'd take a flyer on him.
Yeah, he was in my best this past week. I looked up his stats. His stats are way better than what I thought they were. He's got a positive touchdown to interception ratio, but he's like 7 and 12 as a record because he played for Jacksonville.
Yeah,
but he's a great quarterback. He's a great quarterback.
He got injured in Jacksonville last year, and that kind of ruined everything. But he was good.
Put him on Tampa Bay. That team will be so much better with Gardner Minshew instead of Tom Brady. I'm telling you.
No, I don't know about that one, Chief. I think teams like Tampa Bay who know Brady, like this is either his last year or he's going to get injured next year and just call it. Teams like that.
I wish that's the case.
Or like the Texans could take a flyer on Gardner Minshew, or the Broncos need a quarterback. Like all these
That'd be a good fit. Gardner to Denver would be a great fit.
Gardner to Denver.
Yes.
I mean, where's he from? He went to like a tiny JUCO in Mississippi. Not the good one, not the one on Last Chance U. This tiny JUCO, and then transferred to East Carolina, where the team was so bad. Like, they were so bad. Then he went to Washington State and killed it with Mike Leach. Go Leach. Yeah. So I'm a big Gardner fan. Almost bought a Gardner Minshew Jacksonville jersey, and then they traded him. I was like, what the
One of my
I can't buy a Philly jersey.
Players.
I can't buy a Philly jersey. Oh, yeah. Cowboys fan.
I mean, you could.
No, I bought a Zach Wilson Jets jersey. It's in my dryer right now.
Oh man, I'm no draft scout, but I thought he was the number 2 behind Trevor Lawrence, like the second best quarterback coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
And he hasn't looked great, but also like he's on the Jets.
At this point, he's brought like all the rookie quarterbacks except for Mac haven't been good. It's like Mac Jones, and you could put the rest of them in like this one category.
Well, the other quarterbacks, save Trey Lance because he hasn't even played, are put in like really terrible positions. Their team is just bad.
Right. The only quarterback that was drafted by a capable coach
was Mac Jones.
It was Mac Jones.
And maybe Trey Lance, but I'm
not a believer in this Kyle Shanahan guy. Is he supposed to be a genius?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of genius.
I know there's stats out there because his team's been like one of the most injured over his head coaching tenure. And then when they were pretty healthy, they went 13-3 into the Super Bowl. So I think that's what the organization is like trying to get back to. Like, if we can just get healthy and you got your quarterback now in Trey Lance, which they're going to trade Garoppolo this offseason is what the rumor is.
I'm not taking a flyer on Garoppolo.
I wouldn't either. He's too injury prone. But the whole thing in San Francisco is, Kyle Shanahan, right? Yeah, Kyle's the son. Mike's the dad.
Yeah, Mike's the dad.
Kyle Shanahan. Okay, you got your quarterback. This team's gonna be relatively healthy. You got 1 or 2 more years to make this work. And if it doesn't work with Trey Lance, then you're out the door because his record is really bad.
Yeah,
But
he was a below
give him,
500
yeah,
coaching record.
you give him a pass because the team's been so injury filled his entire tenure there.
I mean, yes, but I don't know. Um, I'm just not a believer, man. Just don't. And Kyle Shanahan, maybe, hopefully, I don't know. His dad kind of screwed up RG3's career. And did you see RG3's writing a book about his awful time at
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to read that.
It's in like a year, but I might pre-order it. Just I kind of want to read it. RG3's backup was to go to law school, so dude's smart.
Oh,
Like,
dude, if he turns around and like sues the organization, because that's a skeevy organization.
Yeah, and for some reason the NFL keeps covering up for him, and I don't know why.
Well, it's because they're making millions of money for him.
The Redskins, sorry,
the
Washington football team.
There you go.
I'm sorry. They were in my division for 18 years, and then they just 19 years, and then they decided to change their name. Like on my 19th birthday, it was around that time. Because I was waiting tables, and I just remember it all on TV.
Look at you now.
But we had this guy at the bar who was a huge, at the time, Redskins fan. He had the same color car. He had license plate stickers all over it. He'd come in wearing all those colors. He'd sit at our bar, wear a Redskins hat. Yeah, I was like, oh, man, poor guy's a Redskins fan. But now he's a football team fan. I think they should just keep football team at this point. It's like a meme, and it's hilarious.
I hate the name because it is a meme. I don't want to get into the different kind of names that they could have, but you got to pick a name. You can't go with football team.
Oh, I like it. No, football team.
It's like a club team.
What are they going to change it to?
NFL.
It's no. It's like a soccer club. Barcelona.
This is like, the
come
NFL.
On, just Washington, the Washington D.C. football team. Washington FT.
Knowing Dan Snyder, he'll probably keep it football team because he's too lazy or indecisive to actually pick a name.
I really don't understand why the NFL keeps covering for him. Because, we've seen it happen in other sports too. Who's the old commissioner of the NBA who passed away recently? Hold on. I'll find it here in a sec. He was old.
We'll just cut this out.
Just cut this out. No, I'm not even going to. David Stern.
Yeah.
He was a commissioner for a long time. He covered up for Donald Sterling with all that stuff that happened with the Clippers. And
I'm telling you,
it's not like he did anything. It's not like, but I mean, he swept it under the rug, turned a blind eye to what was going on there. And then whenever Adam Silver came in, he kind of blew that out of the water, stuff like that. But I just don't understand why the NFL would cover for this team. And I get it, they're making money, but come on, like we know what's going on there. There were emails that have been released. The stuff that happened with the cheerleaders is horrendous. What is the NFL doing with these just slaps on the wrist that aren't even public?
Well, you know how they got John Gruden, right? They were going through the emails for Washington. Yeah.
And the only one to fall so far is John Gruden.
Because they were going through, I think his name's Dennis Allen. He was the former president, right? Dennis Allen?
I think so. I don't know.
They were going through his emails and they found that email from John Gruden to Dennis Allen. And that's why John Gruden he didn't get fired. What was the term they used? Parted ways.
I don't think it's Dennis Allen.
It's Bruce Allen?
Dennis Allen's a defensive coordinator for the Saints.
I know his last name's Allen, I think.
Bruce Allen?
Is that who it is?
He was the president. He was the general manager. Well, he was with the team from 2010 to 2019.
Bruce Allen. Okay. So I had the last.
Sorry, right. Dennis. You're a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Sorry,
unless you've also done this stuff and your name's in all this. But the whole John Gruden thing, he's actually isn't he suing the NFL?
Supposedly, I haven't seen anything since he originally said he was going to, but what he said was awful. But they weren't even looking into him, and it was a long time ago. But just kind of insane to think about. And it's amazing to me that the NFL has allowed this to go on for as long as it has. Or if they just can't find proof, then they need to investigate a little harder. I don't it's out there. Like, it's public knowledge. Your ex Heisman Trophy Rookie of the Year quarterback is writing about how awful of a franchise it was to play for, and how he was, abused and stuff like that. Just insane to me.
Who is the Washington left tackle? Who's like a Hall of Famer? He's with San Francisco now. Is it Trent Brown? Is that his name? He played for Washington for the longest time, and he had a brain tumor, or he had brain cancer. And he went to the medics at Washington, like the team medics, and they said, "Oh, no, you're fine." And then he went to a specialist, and the guy's like, "Yeah, you have brain cancer."
Trent Williams.
What did I say? Trent Brown?
Yeah, Trent Brown is a tackle. Sorry, Trent Brown.
I need to get these names right.
Yep, held out an entire year. That's insane.
They basically either through sheer, what's the word I'm looking for? They either did it on purpose or they did it accidentally, but they told him, "Yeah, you're okay. Go back out in the field and practice. Go to practice." He had a brain tumor.
Yep. So I don't understand what is going on in that organization. I don't understand how you could work for an organization like that. It's awful.
I would never want to. Yeah, with all the ghost stories that come out of that organization, I would never want to work for or play for that team.
Remove him as the owner. They're not going to be good until they do. And I like Taylor Heineke. I like the guy. I like that guy.
Yeah.
I like that quarterback. And what's their record now? 6-7?
6-6.
6-6.
Right in the thick of the playoff race.
So they've been doing okay as of recent. Cowboys are still going to win that division. So, but they could be a wild card team. So insane.
I was kind of hoping that Fitzpatrick would make that team a playoff team.
No, he's out for season. He just had surgery.
Unfortunately, yeah, his hip. But I guess isn't he retiring after this season?
Oh, probably.
Man, I'm gonna miss him. He's one of my favorite players too.
Fitz magic. What a guy. Oh well. Taylor Heineke. Heineke goat.
Yeah. So we've been talking about the good teams. We've been talking about controversies. What about the bad teams? Let's talk about the draft.
What are we considering a bad team?
The teams that are like 2 wins, 1 win.
Okay, so Jacksonville.
3. Yeah. Jacksonville's 2-10. Houston's 2-10. Jets are 3-9. Detroit's 1-10-1.
That's the best 1-10 team in NFL history.
Detroit. I'm a Bears fan, but I love Detroit.
Oh man, that is the best 1-10 team in NFL history. I don't know what else to say. So
there's not much to root for when you're a Bears fan.
Do what?
I said there's not much to root for when you're a Bears fan. So I've been
rooting for the Lions. You root for the Packers to lose.
Yeah, that hardly ever happens. I've been rooting for the Lions to win week in and week out. I was rooting for them to beat the Bears two weeks ago during Thanksgiving.
What a game. What a day. I was so mad the Raiders beat the Cowboys. But anyways, so
bad team. So we got the top 10 draft picks. A lot of these teams need quarterbacks.
How many of the teams need quarterbacks? Well, so who's the worst? Detroit. I think Jared Goff's time in the NFL is coming to a close soon, even though, I don't know. I don't know what you could do with him. They will probably have the number 1 overall pick. There isn't a stud quarterback in this draft, so I don't know what you do. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. There isn't someone who's like clear cut. This is going to be the best guy. I mean, you could take Matt Corral or Kenny Pickett or any of these guys in college, or Bryce Young, I guess. Haven't been a lot of Alabama quarterbacks to pan out super well in the NFL, though, if that makes sense. Like right now, Mac Jones and Tua, and I don't know how long Tua's time in the NFL is going to last.
He's on a hot streak. They started off 1-7. They're 6-7 now.
So, they have they're riding a 5-game win streak.
Yeah.
Mac Jones looks good, but, all those Alabama
Also
quarterbacks.
in the best position you can be in.
Right. So, who else? Jacksonville. I doubt they draft a quarterback.
Houston needs way more than a quarterback. If you take a quarterback when you're Houston, you're just basically condemning that poor kid's career to be a bust. There's you can't.
They still have Deshaun Watson on their roster.
He's not going to be there, whether it be a trade or a walk away or prison time. He won't be on that roster next year.
So I don't know what they're going to do with him. They're doing feels like a Ben Simmons. Just no one wants you.
Yeah,
we're not even going to try to trade you. But there was early talks of like a Tua for him, but I don't know
Tua for Deshaun Watson. No, that ain't gonna happen.
Or a 3-team trade or something like that with him. But yeah, kind of crazy. Oh God, I just thought Damian Lillard just got traded. That's what I just thought. Oh, Jesus, he didn't though. It's okay.
He didn't.
No, I thought he did, but the ESPN needs to word their graphics better. This just in, it's a photo of Dame Lillard. I'm like, oh God. No, it's okay.
Oh, I almost always get fooled by that Darren Schefter on Twitter.
Schefter.
Yeah. But going back to the draft, you said there's no clear-cut quarterback. I don't think there's even a top 15 or 20 pick that goes to a quarterback without being a reach.
I don't know about that. Matt Corral and then the quarterbacks are always reached on. I think they're really overvalued in the draft. They really are. It's fact of the matter.
Yeah.
They just are. So, you got to look at other positions as well. As if you're these teams, a lot of these teams with young quarterbacks might just be like, screw it, we're going to ride them out again next season. Like, the Jets with Zach Wilson. Maybe the Niners do something with Trey Lance next year. Bears with Justin Fields. I think Fields could be the best out of all of these guys, but the dude is rawer than raw. I mean, he's a good athlete. He's shown some flash. That scramble touchdown he had was ridiculous. That's one of the highlights of the season. Like, that was an incredible play.
You just gotta find these guys with their right coach. You gotta pair them with their right coach. Urban Meyer is not the right coach. Dave Culley in Houston is not the right coach. He's basically a placeholder for this year. Matt Nagy's not the right coach. Dan Campbell is probably the only coach that I really have faith in, because there was no expectations for Detroit after they didn't take a quarterback, which I agree. Like, they should not have taken a quarterback last year.
Right.
Probably shouldn't take one this year, like in the first or second round.
Yep.
Build up your offense from the ground up. Build a solid offensive line. Get some receivers. Then in 2 or 3 years, get your quarterback. That's a great game plan.
So for the Texans, Davis Mills was just announced as the starter for the rest of the season.
I have no idea how good he's been.
He's been okay. Placeholder.
Yeah.
Probably end up being a career backup with what he's doing. So good for him. Make some money.
Yeah, make more than us.
Make more than I will as a backup quarterback in the NFL.
That's the best job to have, a backup quarterback.
Yeah, you get to go in every once in a while, be a hero, never play again. Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett did it for the Cowboys.
Remember Clipboard Jesus, Charlie Whitehurst?
For the Lord.
Titans a long time ago?
Yes. Jeez. Or, you Bledsoe a quarterback and then you become the starter.
Yeah.
So, poor Drew Bledsoe. He got Bledsoe.
He was really good. Yeah, he was really good before Tom Brady and even after Tom Brady.
Brady, Bledsoe. Romo, Bledsoe. Because Bledsoe was a starter for Dallas, then Romo came in, played great, starter. And then Romo got Bledsoed by Dak.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane, that progression right there, but wild. Any other topics you want to touch on?
What's been the most disappointing team for you this season?
The Bills.
The Bills, really? I was going to say
the Bills are the Chiefs. Seattle, yeah, I saw it coming. Like, I'm sorry. It's been 10 years.
You
They've
did?
been really good. Yeah. I didn't see it this bad. Like, I thought that they might be 6-7 at this point, 5-7. Not, what are they, 3-8?
4-8.
They do have the two of the top 5 leading tacklers in the NFL. Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks, guns up, first rounder, Texas Tech.
There you go.
He's number 4 on tackles, which just means that they have a god awful D line. If your 2 starting linebackers are in the, anyways.
Russell Wilson wants out of that. He wants gone.
I think Pete Carroll retires. I think he's done from coaching. I think this is it.
Yeah.
Probably
one of the few head coaches that actually gets to retire.
He might get fired if he just refuses to retire. All right, whatever, Pete. It's probably time to go though. Legion of Boom is long gone.
Yeah, this offense ain't as good as it used to be anymore.
No, it's not. Tyler Lockett looks good, but I mean they're just not winning games. Russ got hurt.
Russ came back way too early.
For him. But yeah. But like the Bills, they're supposed to be the best team in the league. They're not going to win their division.
Oh man,
Josh Allen looks decent, but he's not what he was last year.
I'm wondering if he's actually fallen off or if he's just had a down year. Like, because you can have a down year as a quarterback. Fell off.
I don't think he's done. Like, I think
it seems like he reverted back to his rookie season in some games, like making awful throws and taking bad chances. This is the
first time he's regressed ever, if that makes sense. So every year, if you go look at his statistics from that junior college he went to Wyoming, he passed like at a 48%, like 48% completion percentage. And it just has gone up every year. Every level of football he stepped up to, it's gone up. Even in the NFL, his completion percentage has gotten better. This is the first like step back Josh Allen has really had as a player. So, the dude fought for a junior college spot at this tiny school and then got the starting quarter. The only coach who reached out to him, D1, was Wyoming. That was the only coach who took a flyer on him. And, he got drafted. So I think he could be good still. And then, the Chiefs at this point, what are they? 8-4, 7-5?
They're 8-4.
Are you kidding me? Like, they don't look good and they're still winning games. Like, I don't know how to put it. They're not as good as they were, but again, even they feel disappointing to me. It felt like they should be undefeated this whole season, but it's hard to do that run. Like, they've been really good for 4 years now. I think this is Mahomes' 5th year in the league, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
If you're counting, So, and they were good that year with Alex Smith. Like, they've been really good for a while. So I don't know. You can't stay on top forever, right? You got to have an off year every once in a while.
Well,
even Brady did.
Tom Brady stayed on top for 20 freaking years.
He had a couple of down years, though. Like, come on. Statistically speaking.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine going undefeated in the regular season and losing to Eli Manning.
The Giants.
You just got beat by Eli Manning. Did you see that thing where they had Tom on the Manning brothers thing? And Tom was like, he's like, I liked my games against Peyton much better than I liked my games against Eli.
I wonder why. Like, you got a winning record against Peyton.
It's probably because Eli was 2-0 in Super Bowls against you. One year they were 9-7 and beat you in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, dude.
Come on.
What a Cinderella story that was.
What a Eli. Oh my God. What a guy.
Have they had a winning season since they won the Super Bowl? The Giants?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
I know they've been really bad for like
they've been really
5 or
bad
6
since
years.
2016. That was the year Odell caught that ball, or 2 years after Odell caught that ball, I think. Okay. Yeah, they went 11-5 in 2016. They went 9-7 the year after they won the Super Bowl. They went 9-7 and won the Super Bowl. And then they went 7-9, 6-10, 6-10, 11-5, 3-13, 5-11, 4-12, 6-10. They're 4-8 this year.
Joe Judge is out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gone. Tom Coughlin should have never left.
Tom Coughlin should have left. Because he was there during the low points too.
He was there forever. But they won 2 Super Bowls with him.
But they shouldn't have.
Oh, my word. You're insane. But, good old Giants, one of the best franchises in history. So
your biggest disappointment is Buffalo?
Yeah. Okay. Buffalo.
They've been
definitely.
It's nice when you're 7-5 and still a disappointment.
Yeah, but they should be so much better.
Yeah.
Seattle's up there too, but I saw it at the end of it.
Who's your biggest surprise of the year?
Patriots.
I was going to say either them or Arizona.
Yeah, Patriots or Arizona. Or even Green Bay. I thought that was going to be a dumpster fire this year, honestly, with what Aaron Rodgers did over the offseason and stuff. So, Diva Rodgers.
I knew if Rodgers had sat out or had left, I could see them being 3-9. But if he came back and actually played, I see them being 9-3, which is where they're at.
He's odd, but he's probably gone after this year. So
I hope so. Get him out of the division. I'm tired of seeing Green Bay dominate this division.
It's only been like that for 25 years now, right? 30 years?
Yeah. Imagine lucking into 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and being one of the best teams in the league for 30 years and only having 2 Super Bowl wins.
You're right. However, they have more wins than the Cowboys did the last 30 years. Anyways, so kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's about 5 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. yours.
Yep.
I got to log off.
It's fun.
Thanks for joining me
today.
On the podcast. I'll have you on again, probably a couple weeks, talk NFL and the season stuff.
That'll be around when the playoffs are starting.
Yeah, so it should be interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining today. It was a good talk. First talk we had, so that was good.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, glad keep writing for me, please. Most consistent writer I have.
Please keep writing for me.
Please keep writing.
I need your content.
Please. I can't write. But come on again. Always welcome. But yeah. So thanks for everyone for listening. Thanks for joining us today, man.
Problem.
Thanks for listening to the More Sports Podcast today on the More Than Sports Podcast Network. Should be back next week with some more podcast stuff. Haven't decided what I want to do. Check out the Army-Navy game Saturday. Should be fun.